This is NJ, your host on this channel. In this video, we will have a discussion on the upcoming retrograde shift of Saturn in its own Capricorn sign. So now friends, just because as I have already uploaded a lot many videos on this retrograde motion of the planet Saturn, but when we talk about specifically from the perspective of Saturn's entry in a retrograde motion in its own sign, earth sign, so that actually holds a lot of potential of manifesting some very concrete results. And over and above that friends, just because Saturn is going to be transiting throughout in this Dhanishta nakshatra, which is being ruled by the planet Mars, so there is a lot of hidden and encrypted side of this transit which need to be understood in detail. That is something which we will try to understand in this video. So now friends, first to begin with the important dates of this transit. So now friends, as you know that Saturn is going to stay in a retrograde motion till October 23rd. After that, it is going to come back again in the direct motion. Over here as well friends, just because when we talk about the energy and the transit of a very restraining planet, a planet of justice, karma, hard work, position, authority, so it also becomes very important to take into consideration the D9 or the Navamsa energies as well. Not only in your natal chart, but also even in the transit, the underlying impulse and instincts is something which we get to know from the role of the nakshatra and the Navamsa energy. So now friends, Saturn is going to be transiting in the Virgo Navamsa, which can be seen as a very good sign. Like starting from July 12th, it is already transiting in the Virgo Navamsa, but on August 29th and till December 14th, it's going to be transiting in the Leo Navamsa. So that could be a time period where the Saturnian energy can actually punish you if your acts are not going to be very ethical, very righteous. Second thing is that friends, specifically because during this time Mars is also going to go in the retrograde motion as well. So the time period from October 30th till January 12th, Mars is going to stay retrograde. Because friends, if you actually want to get into the depth of studying the result of this transit, so you have to also include the involvement or the transit of the nakshatra lord as well. So Mars is going to be transiting definitely from the Aries, entering to Taurus, then Gemini, retrograding back to the Taurus sign. So this is going to be the time period when the frustration could be all-time high. Now let's say for example, if in your natal chart you are a very Mars driven person, or you have your hopes very high set on any of your coveted dreams or any of your aspirations on some big projects and all of that, and if things are not gonna work out as per your aspirations. Now a lot depends on your own natal chart alignments, your ongoing dashas, but also when we talk about the transit, which also holds a very pivotal role in creating those favorable circumstances for us. So definitely this could give rise to frustration, and in all those cases where Saturn is not a very auspicious planet for you and you're also going through some sort of conflicting energy, then this can actually give rise to lot many frustration as well. Now friends, now we will shift our discussion to understanding in a nutshell about Saturn's retrograde motion result in the Capricorn. So like the way friends, I have said this thing a lot many times, that Saturn's influence in the Capricorn can be seen as a very grounded, very realistic, very practical energy. This is going to be a transit which actually holds this potential to manifest some very substantial results. Just because friends, Saturn is a very slow moving planet. So whatsoever you want to derive or extract from Saturn, those things cannot be expected overnight. The second thing is that many times what happens is that I have seen lot many people who have generally in these kind of alignments where they have sown seeds or they have laid foundation to any big project of theirs. So do not look at it or this transit only from the perspective of that whether I will be considered for a promotion, whether I'm going to get my government job, whether I'm going to get married. But important is that there is a very beautiful Hindi term which I hear all the time from the Bhagavad lovers and all of that, that this life is a karmo ki prishtbhumi. This is a life where we sow seeds of some very fresh and good karma. This is what the ultimate objective of our human life is. So you can also look at this retrograde motion of Saturn in the Capricorn as that whatsoever your coveted dreams or your like aspirations, your ambitions are, so this could be seen as a very good energy for doing a proper self introspection. Whatsoever you want to achieve, you want to attain, are you well equipped? Do you have that required skills for that or not? Because friends, we always aspire for what we want, but we never do this self introspection that whether we have those ingredients, those skill sets which can actually help us reach to the point where we want to attain. Because friends, in the world, in the cosmic plane, nothing just happen, everything happen fair and just. And the beauty is that Saturn is the only planet which oversees that everything is going to take place as per our own karma, as per our honest intentions and actions. So for all those people who have been applying for any coveted like universities, or you have been long awaiting for the clearance of any loan, or you want to get admission into some new college, university, you want to transition into some new profession. So these all are the kind of probable indications which we can attach with this retrograde motion of Saturn in the Capricorn. So friends, it's not as simple as that. If you will switch the position or the job responsibilities of an accountant with an IAS officer working in the same ministry, so you will get to know that the kind of skill set or the potential or the capabilities which that person who is sitting in that top position has, so other person is lacking those things. So what is important is that during the influence or strong dignity of Saturn, what kind of seeds you are sowing. The second thing is that friends, like the way I already explained this thing in the last video, that if you actually want to understand the true dignity or true indication of this transit, so first look at the individually the placement of Saturn in your natal chart. Basis your ascendant, is Saturn an auspicious planet for you or not? Second thing is that in your Ashtak Varga table, how many points Saturn is giving to the Capricorn sign. Now friends, talking from Saturn's aspect perspective, so from the Capricorn, Saturn is going to be aspecting the Pisces zodiac sign with its third aspect, and in the Pisces we already have Jupiter transiting over there. So now friends, Jupiter's influence in the Pisces is a lot different from Jupiter's influence in the Sagittarius sign, because when we talk about the Pisces energy, which can be seen as a very good sign for any sort of spiritual progress, any sort of transcendental awareness and wisdom and knowledge, but when we talk about being very realistic, being very practical towards all of your goals, over there Jupiter's influence in the Pisces can actually create lot of like a restraint over there. So Saturn's third aspect will ensure that whatsoever Jupiter wants to manifest in your life in the form of blessings, how much efforts you will be putting in that direction. Now friends, Saturn's seventh aspect is going to be looking at the Cancer sign. So that could be little bit vulnerable energy, because the seventh aspect of Saturn is actually a aspect of being accountable, being responsible. So over during this time, let's say for example, if things are not gonna work out as per your liking, or if your workload is going to increase, so it can actually have a strong toll in your emotional mental health. And friends, when we talk from the perspective of the 10th judgment giving aspect of the planet Saturn, so now friends, Saturn is going to be looking at the Libra sign, that too where Ketu is already transiting over there. So friends, the combined influence of Saturn and Ketu is always an energy of perfection, is always an energy of being accountable, being responsible. We all have heard all those promises and vague promises that I will do this thing for you, I can go to this extent for you during this time. Basis your ascendant, basis your moon sign, wheresoever Libra energy is going to be falling in, Saturn will definitely actually test your accountability, your responsibility, your degree and sense of dutifulness towards the matter of that house. And friends, when we talk about from Saturn's transit perspective, like I do not think I need to make another video covering that if you already have some planets being placed in the like Capricorn sign and Saturn is going to be transiting over them, what is going to be the result. You can understand it in a very simpler way, that Saturn is actually a significator of your actions, your karma. So let's say for example, because in the last video where I mentioned this thing that I am also worried because I have my sun being placed in the Capricorn and Saturn is going to be transiting over it. But trust me friends, sun is a significator of recognition. So if your actions, your intentions have been good, so Saturn can actually bestow the good results or rewards basis the dedication, devotion you have shown in your line of work. Now this is different from other inner planets, like if you will talk about from Venus's perspective. So if your Venus is placed in the Capricorn and Saturn is going to be in a retrograde motion transiting over it, so over there it can actually make you little bit recluse, little bit kind of aloof in the matters of the relationship. But in certain cases, basis your true intentions, which is being represented by the planet, Saturn's transit over it can actually manifest good results as well. Now let's say for example, if your Mercury is placed in the Capricorn sign and Saturn very soon is going to be in a retrograde motion, is going to be transiting over it. So trust me friends, it's the same transit of Saturn over your natal Mercury is going to take place after a long span of time. So whatsoever hard work you have been putting in, Saturn can actually reward you accordingly. Now if you are a student, so same dedication towards your academics is going to get judged. If you are a business professional, your honesty, your integrity towards your work, towards your business is going to judged. Hence, if I were to summarize, this transit has got a lot of importance attached to it, because Saturn, whenever it is placed in the Capricorn sign, it tends to remain very strong, and being in a retrograde motion gives rise to more chasteable, more strong energy to the planet's signification. Because if a direct transiting planet tend to remain strong to manifest some external results, being in a retrograde motion, somehow it gives rise to its reflective power and qualities as well. And with Saturn, it's all about, you know, sowing seeds for some very good results which you can anticipate in times to come, because Saturn is the ultimate judge of all of our actions. So okay friends, after all of this brief like rhetoric introduction, now let's switch our discussion to the customized ascendants. So friends, starting first with the Aries rising or Aries moon sign people. So now friends, in your case, Saturn is going to retrograde back and come to your 10th house, which in transit is also going to give rise to one of the Panch Mahapurush Yoga known as the Shash Yoga as well. So friends, definitely from over here, Saturn can actually give additional burden of responsibilities during this time. And definitely friends, whatsoever you have to face or you have to perform, the mental pressure is going to be little bit high attached to those responsibilities as well, because friends, your ascendant lord is not in a very conducive state during this whole time when Saturn is going to be transiting in the Dhanishta nakshatra, because Mars is going to be conjunct with Rahu half of the time, and it is going to enter like from Taurus, then Gemini, then it is going to go retrograde as well. So overall friends, the emotional mental plane, the burden of the additional responsibilities might tear you down. Second thing is that friends, definitely when we talk about from the perspective of Saturn's 10th aspect, which is going to be influencing the matters of your 7th house. So over here friends, you have to remain very cautious, very aware regarding your answerability, your accountability towards your partner within the marital life. Also friends, even for all those people who have their own business, so the kind of people you associate yourself with, any sort of, you know, fairness in any sort of business dealings needs to be done, needs to be performed during this time. Now friends, when we talk about from Saturn's third aspect in the matters of your 12th house, so definitely friends, if you're already engaged in any of the matters of the 12th house, now let's say for example that if you are working in the fields of spirituality, transcendental knowledge, import export, overseas like business, so all those people can still get benefited, because all alone or standalone influence of Jupiter in the 12th house many times can make someone little bit utopian. So the influence and the aspect of Saturn will definitely help you in order to pursue all the matters of the 12th house with a very realistic approach. Now friends, if I were to summarize regarding the matters of the 10th house, like definitely I have mentioned this thing that the pressure of the responsibilities is going to go high, but that does not mean that you cannot be considered for a new role or for a new kind of a promotion kind of scenario. So all those things can still materialize. That is the only reason friends, people have grown so much in life. If you will take up the case studies like so many presidents, CEOs who have grown tremendously during the Sade Sati, during the Saturn Dasha, but the only thing is that all those designation and all of those additional power also comes with attached additional responsibilities as well. So that is how you can see the manifestation of the results of Saturn in the 10th house. Definitely friends, whatsoever you want to achieve, you might have to work hard for that. There could be some initial delays, or your specifically your terms with the government or your terms with the authority figures will definitely going to get tested during this time. So one thing which I want to say as a take like away of this transit result is that you have to remain very patient in the face of any criticism. Second thing is that try not to get into any conflicts with your authority figures. Third thing is that friends, I'm actually looking at the positive benefit side of this transit, specifically for all those people who are still in a threshold of their professional journey or of their academic career. So let's say for example, if you are in that stage that you have to choose a college of your choice, or you have to appear for any sort of competitive exam and all of that. So during this time, this retrograde energy of Saturn can actually bring right set of mentors, people who can guide you in the right direction, right set of co-op opportunity and all of that. So regarding the knowledge perspective, any sort of skills acquisition perspective, this transit can still be seen as very good. So overall friends, patience is something which you have to demonstrate during this whole time. Now friends, from the Taurus ascendant and the moon sign perspective, so definitely friends, the retrograde journey of Saturn in your 9th house will give you that sort of guidance or the purpose which you have lost in the journey of your life. And many times friends, it has been seen that with this kind of alignment, if in your professional life, in a very long course, you have lost connection with the mentors, with all those people who have played a very pivotal role in shaping up your career so far. So reappearance of all those people in your life, going back to the roots or foundation of your education, of your training, this is how we can foresee this retrograde influence of Saturn in your 9th house. During this time friends, you have to remain very much disciplined towards your terms with any sort of authority figures, or this could be with your father as well. Also friends, from over here, Saturn is going to be aspecting your 11th house first. So now friends, you have to remain very realistic. You have to put more efforts towards any of the professional goals which you have been pursuing, which you have been chasing so far. Now friends, you have to remember one thing, because over here in your case specifically, see, Saturn is aspecting both of the two very important houses of networking, socialization, like 11th house and the 3rd house. So you have to remain very cautious that the kind of influence you are allowing in your life, like the kind of people you are hanging out with, are they actually shaping up your life, or their influence is putting you in the right direction, or they are just kind of wasting your time, sucking out your positive energy or distracting you from your path. And in many cases friends, it has been also seen, because the 3rd aspect of Saturn is all about efforts, 7th aspect is all about responsibility, 10th aspect is all about rewards. So I would say during this time, because of the laziness of other people, there could be some additional burden of responsibilities on the account of your colleagues, of your siblings, of your friends, which might also come on your shoulder. So my advice is that there is no harm in helping other people, but not at the cost of the valuable time of yours. Second thing is that friends, just because Saturn is going to be aspecting your 6th house as well, so over here friends, it is going to become very important that how much work you have been putting in. Like Saturn's influence or its aspect in the 6th house just demands perfection all the time. And many times friends, it has been seen, because Saturn is the significator of justice, and 9th house in a way is intimately connected with the matters of fairness, of judgment as well. And its aspect in your 6th house can actually grant some sort of relief for all those people who have been going through any sort of litigation, court cases and all of that. So you might have lost the hope that some positive development is gonna take place, but suddenly reopening of the case, of the file, and there could be some positive development which could take place in your favor as well. So this is how you can see this transit results for all the Taurus people. Moving ahead friends, now for all the Gemini people. So now friends, in your case, this is going to be a little bit sensitive energy, but it all again comes down to that in which specific area of life you are engaged in. Trust me, Saturn's retrograde motion, that too in the 8th house, in a very strong dignity. See, we cannot overlook this fact. And first of all, friends, Saturn is a very auspicious planet for you guys because its Mool Trikona sign falls in your 9th house. So because of which, Saturn is a important planet for you guys, and its retrograde motion and its strong dignity in your 8th house can actually manifest some very positive results in the matters of the 8th house. Specifically, if your personality is something, you are a very deep thinker, you are strongly engaged in the matters of research, exploration, occult sciences, sadhana, you have a very yogi kind of way of living life. So trust me, epiphanies, realization, awareness, this is how things can materialize in your case. And also friends, because if you have been facing any sort of kind of issues in the matters of the 8th house, any of the concerns of taxes, alimonies, or a lawsuit, or any sort of dispute or conflict with your in-laws and all of that, or in the matters of the joint resources as well, so some sort of positive light can fall upon on the matters of the 8th house. Some sudden unpredictable gain, some sort of position which you have thought that I lost a credibility or a strong chance towards that coveted position, but suddenly people start talking about you, or you become a very strong contender for any position which you have been eyeing. So this is how things can materialize specifically in your case. Now friends, just because from over here Saturn is going to be aspecting your 10th house as well, where right now Jupiter is transiting. So definitely friends, like whatsoever Jupiter is hard bent to manifest in your case, specifically in the matters of your professional life, with this additional aspect of Saturn, it is actually going to make you very practical, very wise, very insightful in the matters of your professional undertakings. Friends, when we talk about Saturn's aspect in the matters of your 2nd house and the 5th house, so now friends, over here definitely some sort of concerns of the gas or stomach related concerns might trouble you during this time. Second thing is that friends, like when we talk about regarding the matters of your duties and accountability towards your family, so over here during this time there could be some additional burden of responsibilities towards your family. So these are the areas where you have to remain very cautious, like all those people who are like always taking chances and specifically connected with the fields of stock market, any sort of product development, art, entertainment industry or something. So some sudden unpredictable opportunities can still manifest. So the possibility is very strong. All what is required is that when Saturn is transiting from your 8th house, it is in a very strong dignity. So taking out time for japa, yoga, meditation, specifically the worship of Lord Shiva or the recitation of Mahamrityunjaya mantra can actually connect you with some additional like opportunity, I would say, because 8th house and its influence in the 5th house can actually generate energies in a very sudden, unusual, unpredictable way. Moving ahead friends, now for all the Cancer people. So now friends, in your case, just because Saturn is going to be retrograding back to your 7th house, Saturn attains exaltation in the original Kalpurush Kundli's 7th house. So Saturn has got a affinity towards the matters of the 7th house. So definitely friends, your honesty, your integrity, your diligence regarding the matters of the 7th house will heavily get judged during this time. Now whether we talk about your accountability, your honesty in the matters of the business, in the matters of your duties towards your spouse, or if you are in any way connected with the public domain, like you being a politician, you working as an actor. So during this time, your accountability, your responsibility towards your craft is definitely going to get judged. But friends, I will be very honest, this could be a very good time for the enhancement of reputation, that too specifically because of some very good, just altruistic reasons as well. So any charitable, unconditionally helpful gesture shown by you in the world, in the community, can actually reap some very good rewards in times to come. Now friends, just because in your case like Saturn is going to be transiting in the Dhanishta nakshatra, the lord of the Dhanishta, which is the planet Mars, is going to be making a very sensitive journey in your chart, because it is going to be transiting from your 10th house, 11th house, from the 12th house it is going to get retrograde. So I would say friends that specifically in the matters of your professional sphere, there could be some initial setbacks, delays, frustration, but overall energy is not influencing you in a negative way. So trust me friends, if you are willing, you are ready to take up any challenges, you are working hard in your given craft, so some good results can actually manifest during this time. And also friends, like during this time, if you actually want to invest more on your skill, on your craft, or any sort of research or exploration regarding your offering, I would say that can be seen as a very positive approach towards dealing with this entry of Saturn in your 7th house. Now friends, from over here, Saturn is going to be aspecting your 9th house. So definitely friends, whatsoever Jupiter is bestowing its results from your 9th house. Now whether you are a student, you belong to the fields of teaching, banking, judiciary, so this restraining aspect or this aspect of efforts, additional efforts coming in the matters of the 9th house will definitely make you hungry towards the guidance or mentorship in your life. So during this time, you will definitely look forward to expert advice before taking any important decision. Now friends, from over here, Saturn is going to be looking at your first house and your 4th house as well. So now friends, definitely I would say that this journey of Saturn from your 7th house will definitely make you, or it will finally ultimately leave your 7th house after giving you some very good life lessons. So it will definitely make you mature, accountable, and the matters of fortitude will definitely take place in your life. So this is how friends I am looking at this energy of Saturn influencing your 7th house, specifically all those areas in your case where Saturn is influencing. It is actually giving you right set of guidance, expert advice, responsible, accountable, mature, and coming out being more stronger from your previous self. So that is how friends we can see, but definitely additional accountability, responsibility in the matters of your matrimonial life, some sort of attention and concerns towards the mother's health, or in the matters of the domestic life, some additional responsibilities. This is how we can see this entry of Saturn in your 7th house. Now friends, for all the Leo people, so now friends, in your case, Saturn is going to be entering your 6th house. So now friends, if we have to compare Saturn's influence in the transit, like comparing all the Dushtana Bhava, in a way, Saturn holds strong potential to manifest some very good results from the 6th house. So I would say friends that this is going to be a very good learning curve for you, specifically if you are a service professional, you work in any sort of multinational organization. And I would say friends that many times what happens is that we are always looking out for that wake up call, like this sort of a gentle nudge from the universe, that you keep on getting those thoughts that you are turning obsolete in the job market, you need to acquire or do some sort of certification, some sort of additional skill which you need to acquire. So during this time, you might give thoughts in this direction. Definitely friends, Saturn is not gonna stop you or create any sort of obstacles towards the attainment of or being considered for a new role at your daily work life, in your profession. But again friends, whatsoever position is going to be offered to you, accept it while taking into consideration the kind of job responsibilities it is coming up with, because it might come with additional burden of duties and responsibilities. Now friends, when we talk about regarding the pertaining the matters of the conflicts which are generally seen from the 6th house, so definitely friends, Saturn will give you good sort of insights that wheresoever you have been lacking, or some sort of right set of advisor or people who are going to come to your aid in order to resolve amicably any conflict if you have been facing in the matters of the 6th house. Now friends, from over here, Saturn is going to be aspecting all the kind of sensitive houses in the transit, because from over here Saturn is going to be aspecting your 8th house, it is going to be aspecting your 12th house, and it is also going to be aspecting your 3rd house as well. So I would say friends that definitely if in your case, if you are a researcher, you are a writer, you are a explorer, so if any way in your case research, any sort of occult meditative practices is getting qualified, so all those people can get benefited. And friends, like whenever we talk about the matters of the research, hard work, diligence, we definitely see from the 6th house, 8th house is a prime house of research, and 12th house is also very hidden energy. But the beauty over here is that because ultimate reward is something which Saturn gave with its 10th aspect, which is going to be influencing the matters of your 3rd house. So trust me, with your finding, it is definitely going to pave path towards some new collaboration, new titles, new sponsorship, getting those sort of funding which you have been awaiting for long term if you are an entrepreneur and all of that. So regarding the investment in any sort of skill from a good learning curve perspective and some great findings in the matters of research, this retrograde energy of the Saturn in your 6th house can be seen as a very positive news for all the Leo people. One thing, friends, which I want to say over here is that try to or refrain from taking any shortcuts during this time or getting into any sort of straight conflict with people. Rather, the more helpful, more accessible you're going to remain to people in your daily work life, trust me, this entry or this retrograde entry of Saturn in your 6th house will manifest very good results out of that behavior and attitude. Now friends, from the Virgo rising and the moon signs perspective, so now friends, in your case, Saturn in a retrograde motion is going to enter your 5th house. Now friends, 5th house is the prime house of our intellect. So I would say, friends, that definitely your mindset, your decision making is going to be very self-introspective, self-critic, self-reflective. And friends, just because this is a very good energy specifically for all the students or all those people who are engaged in any sort of research or exploration. From over here, friends, Saturn is going to be aspecting your 7th house with its 3rd aspect as well. So many times, friends, what happens is that Jupiter's influence in the matters of the 7th house many times makes us little bit bohemia in our approach, in our duties or accountabilities towards the matters of our public duties, public life, or even your duties within the matrimonial relationship. So definitely, friends, Saturn's 3rd aspect is going to make you very realistic, very practical. Now, whether if you are in that stage of your life that you are of marriageable age, good proposals are coming your way, but you are in that dilemma that you are not able to take up a call, or even in the matters of the business, taking some very wise, visionary decision, from that perspective, this influence of Saturn in your 7th house will manifest some very good results. Now friends, Saturn is definitely going to be aspecting your 11th house as well with its 7th aspect. 7th aspect of Saturn has everything to do with being accountable, being responsible. So I would say, friends, that during this time, you have to remain very aware that your network or your influence or your friend circle is not putting additional burden of responsibilities on your shoulder. But the beauty over here is that, friends, because ultimately Saturn is influencing the matters of your 5th house, which is about your intellect. So it is definitely going to make you very realistic, very practical, very self-critique towards your progress in your professional front. And lastly, friends, because Saturn is going to be influencing the matters of your 2nd house as well. And friends, its 10th aspect is going to be influencing your 2nd house. So like the way I say this thing, the 10th aspect has a lot to do with giving rewards of all of our hard work. And because in a way, 5th house also tells about investments as well. So I would say that any of the investments done by you in the past where you might have lost any hope of any substantial return, so during this time Saturn can actually generate some very good return on the investments if your ongoing dashas are also very supporting of that. Now friends, for all the Libra people, so now friends, in your case, in a retrograde motion, Saturn will start influencing your 4th house. So I would say, friends, that during this time, like, it will be advisable not to put your hand into any disputed property or any sort of property related matters. Needs to be done with lot of contemplation, lot of care. On emotional mental plane, this could be time where you might find yourself being overburdened with the domestic responsibilities. Now friends, I always say this thing, that Saturn's influence in any house gives thrust towards the pressure, but the pressure generally comes with additional gifts pertaining to that house as well. So just because you got considered for a new role, your job responsibilities also got increased. So now this could be case that all those people who are Libra influence in their life, like you being a Libra rising sign or Libra moon, you might get married during this time and suddenly there is additional domestic responsibilities which you are responsible for. So this can be looked at in so many ways. I will be very honest, on an emotional mental plane, this could be time which can actually drain you of your energy. Second thing is that just because Saturn is going to be aspecting your 6th house as well, so in the back of your mind you will be very much occupied towards your work related duties and responsibilities. So you might come home, but in the back of your mind you're still thinking about what you have done, how you have performed, how things are going on at your work front. So on an emotional mental plane, you will definitely be surrounded by all these worries of your family life, domestic life, also what is happening at your professional sphere. Second thing is that friends, again, for the development or enhancement of the reputation perspective, if you have actually sown some good seeds in the past couple of months and your ongoing dashas are also running favorable, so I'm not seeing any hurdle in the form of gaining some position or being considered for a new role. And also friends, because Saturn is ultimately going to be looking at your first house as well with its 10th aspect. So for all those people who are connected with the fields of politics, specifically connected with politics, or you are in any sort of top management, so all those people can get benefited, or the enhancement of reputation, of public image can take place with this retrograde entry of Saturn in your 4th house, which is a Yoga Karaka planet for you guys. Now friends, for all these Scorpio moon and Scorpio rising people, so now friends, in your case, in a retrograde motion, Saturn is going to be entering your 3rd house. So during this time, you have to remain very aware of the influence of the people around you in your life. Second thing is that friends, definitely Saturn is going to make you very introspective, very reflective, very aware regarding the consequences of all of your actions. And I would say that this can be seen as a very good energy for investing in your craft, in your skill during this time, because friends, from over here as well, Saturn is going to be aspecting your 5th house as well with its 3rd aspect. So whatsoever Jupiter wants to bestow, the kind of results Jupiter wants to bestow from the 5th house, Saturn will actually make you very realistic, very practical towards all of those endeavors of yours. Because friends, any sort of positive development, our mindset is something which we see generally from the 5th house. All sort of risk-taking ability and all sort of original innovative work. So because of which Saturn's 3rd aspect will definitely benefit all the endeavors and the intentions of Jupiter, which is taking place from your 5th house. Now friends, from over here, Saturn is also going to be aspecting your 9th house as well, which is a very positive energy for all those people who are in any sort of teaching, tutorial, motivation, or you are a PhD student, or considering any foreign university admission for your masters, for your graduation. So all those people can definitely get benefited. I'm not seeing any hurdle coming over there. And friends, from over here, because Saturn is going to be aspecting your 12th house as well. So definitely friends, travel, overseas opportunity, overseas exposure will definitely give you some very good results. Lastly, and only one red flag which I am looking at over here is that friends, because in your case friends, your ascendant lord, because Saturn is going to be transiting in the Dhanishta nakshatra, and like ascendant lord of yours is going to be making a journey from your 6th house, 7th house, 8th house, and retrograding back. So I would say that be very aware of your the kind of people you are associating yourself with. Second thing is that try not to get into any sort of conflict, or if you actually want to initiate something new, or you want to put your money or get money on credit, so try to remain very aware in those areas. Like any sort of borrowing or credit or loans need to be taken with lot of awareness, and investing on your skill, on your craft, with spending money within your means, within your budget, which I will advise. But loans and conflicts and any sort of degrading, conflicting influence in your life is something where you have to protect yourself. Now friends, for all the Sagittarius people, so now friends, in your case, just because Saturn is going to be retrograding back to your 2nd house, so your duties and responsibilities towards your family is going to get increased during this time. Friends, when we talk about your financial dealing, so you have to understand this thing, that Saturn always preaches the path of frugality rather than extravagance. So over here during this time, any sort of financial dealing needs to be done with proper caution, with proper care. And friends, like specifically when we talk about retrograde Saturn, that too in the 2nd house, so it is all about going back to your tradition, going back to your roots. So let's say for example, if you have lost any sort of connection or touch with your foundation, now this could be in your business dealings, now this could be in your craft, in your skills, in your line of work. So I would say this can be seen as a very good time in reflecting and refreshing your basics in your chosen craft. Second thing is that friends, because from over here Saturn is going to be aspecting your third like with its third aspect, it is going to be aspecting your fourth house as well. So friends, in any case, Jupiter is manifesting very good results from your fourth house, and Saturn's aspect to Jupiter will definitely give more additional thrust or reinforce the signification of the Jupiter. So I'm not seeing you guys vulnerable regarding any of the matters pertaining to the real estate, buying a home or renovating a home. So you can still consider investing your money in any sort of construction or real estate related matters. Now friends, from over here, because Saturn is going to be aspecting your 8th house as well. So now friends, whenever we talk about the 8th house aspect, so specifically for all those people who are connected with the fields of research, exploration, sadhana, occult practices, all those people can get benefited. Because friends, if third aspect is all about your efforts, seventh aspect is all about responsibilities and duties. So I would say that new projects, or for all those people who are engaged in any sort of research, some good breakthrough done by them. Because friends, from over here with Saturn's its 10th aspect, it is going to be influencing the matters of your 11th house as well. So now friends, in a nutshell, if I were to say, some good rewards basis some insightful decision taken by you can be foreseen. And lastly friends, some additional heightened responsibilities towards your near and dear family members, and some sort of frugality needs to be followed in the matters of your financial dealings. Now for all the Capricorn people, so guys, in your case, because Saturn in a retrograde motion is going to be coming right over there in your first house. So now friends, this is a very good energy specifically for those people who are in any sort of major transition in their life. Like you have just completed your studies, you're about to start your professional journey, or you are in that mid-management that you have already invested in any sort of your own venture, any entrepreneur goal of yours. So if you are in that stage of the life where you are contemplating any transition, major transition, your dasha is promising that, keeping you in a very secured zone if you are considering that. So this retrograde entry of Saturn in your first house can actually prove to be a kind of a significator of some very good news regarding those matters. Definitely friends, you will be behaving or thinking in a very self-introspective mode, which will definitely guide you in the right direction. I'm not seeing any affliction, any vulnerability over there. The only thing is that friends, like Saturn's retrograde motion in the first house many times in a very sudden way brings some additional or sudden sense of duty in any specific area of life. So suddenly people can get married, suddenly like any some important family event which took place, which actually grabbed all of your attention in that specific area of life. So this is how friends, you can see, I'm not seeing you guys vulnerable. The only thing is that if in your case you are connected with any sort of public domain, so your accountability, your honesty, your integrity in those lines is going to get tested. Second thing is that friends, try to remain very philanthropic, very humanitarian, because Saturn's influence going over there from your first house is all about Saturn is actually monitoring your life, being sitting right over there in your head. So it becomes very important the kind of thoughts which are coming to your mind, the kind of actions you are committing during this time. So try to remain very watchful towards that. From over here friends, Saturn is going to be aspecting your third house, your 7th house, and your 10th house. So again friends, I'm not seeing you guys vulnerable. Specifically, I've already mentioned this thing at the beginning, that if you are contemplating some major heavy transition in your life, so its aspect in the third house will promise those initiations, those initiatives of yours. 7th aspect will protect you that good supporting people are going to enter your life, which will help in this transition. And its 10th aspect will give some concrete result only if you have done some honest, diligent work in that direction. So friends, regarding the professional front, enhancement of reputation perspective, being very reflective of your purpose, of your path. So this is how results will manifest for all the Capricorn people. And specifically, if in your case you are connected with politics or any sort of city planning or top government bureaucracy, so all those people can also get benefited. Now friends, for all the Aquarius people, so now friends, in your case, because Saturn is going to be transiting in a retrograde motion in your 12th house, so the problems have not ended for you guys. Because friends, the Saturn's retrograde motion in the 12th house many times brings the ghosts of the past. So I will be very honest with you, like it all comes down to individual. If you are a researcher, you are an explorer, you are a yogi, like the way we always say this thing, that astrology never works on the yogis, because they are so much deprived or kind of immune from any external planetary influence, because they are always attuned and strongly connected with their soul. So I would say that if in your case there is some past conflict of yours, any litigation, any lawsuit, any 12th house connected hidden matters which have been giving you trouble from the past couple of months, so all those things might keep on coming back on the picture. So you have to remain very much cautious, very much aware with how much grace and dignity you are going to handle all those matters. Right set of approach is that rather than putting all those dirt of yours under the rug, try to look forward towards some long lasting, some like one stop solution of all of those problems. Second thing is that, friends, for anything to do with the overseas opportunity, anything to do with the yoga, meditation, occult perspective, considering any pilgrimage, any spiritual retreat, like I keep on hearing these mails specifically in the Aquarian alignments, that I am now considering taking up a trip to India, I want to go for this pilgrimage, or I am awaiting the arrival of a guru in my life. So all those things can materialize during this time, friends. Try to remain very much receptive towards the guidance which is coming to you. And I would say, friends, that from over here as well, because Saturn is going to be aspecting your second house as well. So regarding the matters of your finances, I'm not seeing you guys vulnerable, because in any case Jupiter is transiting right over there in your second house. So Saturn will definitely reinforce the signification of the functioning of Jupiter, giving you more additional thrust, making you work hard towards the financial gains perspective as well. Like I would say that Saturn will also encourage you towards some philanthropic charitable work as well during its stay in your 12th house in a retrograde motion. And just because, friends, Saturn is going to be aspecting your 6th house as well with its 7th aspect, and your 9th house as well with its 10th aspect. So now, friends, if I were to say, because 7th aspect generally brings some additional responsibilities, so this is actually going to be a time for working hard in your craft, in your line of work. And the beauty over here is that because Saturn's 10th aspect is looking at your 9th house, so because of the support of the luck being considered for a new role or right set of advisors, mentors, because, friends, any of the influence of the 12th house or 9th house works in a very esoteric way. Like whatsoever guidance generally comes from the 12th house, it comes in the form of intuition, prophetic dreams, or your psychic awareness. So this is how you have to remain very much receptive towards the guidance or the divine instructions which will try to communicate with you during this time. And retrograde Saturn, that too in the 12th house, is a very good time for doing japa, doing homas, and doing meditation. Lastly, friends, for all the Pisces people, so guys, in your case, this is a very good golden window of opportunity which is open for you guys, because finally when Saturn is going to make a foray in your 12th house on January 17th 2023, then results will still come, but there will definitely be a hidden energy or working behind the screen. But whenever we talk about the influence of Saturn in the 11th house, it has everything to do with sowing seeds for something concrete, something big. Like here we talk about what you ultimately want to do in the life, how you want to be seen in the life, what you ultimately want to become in the life. So this can be seen as a very good time, friends, to working hard on any sort of network which you want to rebuild, any sort of important connections which you have lost in the passage of the time. Like specifically, Saturn's influence in the 11th house has everything to do with the professional networking. So right set of guides, advisors, mentors coming in your life, giving you the or showing you the right set of direction. And even, friends, from over here as well, because Saturn is going to be aspecting your first house as well. Like it is going to be looking at your first house, it is going to be looking at your 5th house and the 8th house, so which has everything to do with the making you more responsible, more accountable towards your life. Even all of your risk taking abilities will definitely be well guided, well in control, because of the restraining or the responsible aspect of Saturn in the matters of your 5th house. And definitely, friends, whenever we talk about the 10th aspect of Saturn in a retrograde motion towards the signification of your 8th house, so definitely deep investigations or research or hours spent on research on exploration during this time can actually manifest or bring some very concrete results for all the Pisces people. So this is something, friends, which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs for this retrograde motion of Saturn in the Capricorn sign. For further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. धन्यवाद.